The 11th Pennsylvania was one of the regiments that had been in the war since the beginning. Early in the war, the 11th served for 3 months before mustering off. However, many members stayed in order to revive it and fight for the rest of the war. These boys fought in the war the entire time, finally ending the regiment after Lee's surrender, overall losing 417 men during the war, including 236 to service and 181 to disease. 2 regiment members, Hiram de Levy and George Reed, both received Medals of Honor for capture of flag in Virginia and North Carolina, respectively. In 1861, while training in Washington, D.C., they found a stray puppy and adopted her, naming her Sallie. Sallie travels with the boys everywhere and becomes their mascot even in battle. The men said she only hated 3 things: rebels, Democrats, and women. Not only was Sallie the perfect companion during a tough war, but she could hold her own, and no one ever worried about her. She was reliable, described by the men as medium-sized, squarely and handsomely built, her coat soft and silky, chest broad and deep, her head and ears small, her eyes a bright hazel, full of fire and intelligence. She was active, quick, and had remarkable powers of endurance. She could make no mistake about her own regiment, and never followed any other. During the Battle of Gettysburg, as the 11th Pennsylvania is fighting, lots of men are dying, wounded, and the regiment ends up retreating into town, losing Sallie in the chaos. After the entire battle and 3 days of having seen no trace of Sallie, the rebels have left and the entire army is recovering, tending to dead bodies and all who were wounded in battle. The regiment eventually returns to the spot where they had been in battle before they fled, losing Sallie. And when they return, they see Sallie lying with the men in the regiment who had died. She had returned to the place that she last remembered the regiment being. Once they find her, she is a bit malnourished, so they take care of her, and she returns to full health and back to the regiment. In 1865, during the 11th Pennsylvania's last battle in Virginia, Sallie was caught in the front lines and shot in the head. In a letter after the fight, a comrade mourned, "She was buried where she fell, by some of the boys, even whilst under a murderous fire. So much had they been attached to the poor brute, who so long shared with them the toilsome march and perils of battle." In 1890, during the reunion of the 11th Pennsylvania in Gettysburg, the men remaining had to come up with a design for their monument. They decided it was important for them to honor the life of Sallie, who had been there for them during the war. And in one of their last reunions together in 1910, the boys had to make sure to leave room for one last comrade,